In this video, I'd like to talk about a man known to historians as William Hyacinth, Prince of Nassau-Siegen, so a special treat for anybody who is familiar with British comedy shows of the 1990s. And what an apt name, because it seems that William Hyacinth had ideas above his station, and this made him very unpopular. He was definitely Prince of Nassau-Siegen, which was one of those tiny microstates that made up the Holy Roman Empire. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, the Holy Roman Empire was not so much a country as it was an argument. He came to power in 1699 when his father died and he inherited the title, which was perfectly normal. But he wasn't satisfied with one small principality. He wanted more. So he set his hopes on the English king William III, with whom he was related. He rather assumed that when William III died, he, William Hyacinth, would inherit lands in the Dutch Republic. You see, William III was a Prince of Orange and also governor of the Dutch Republic. He'd become King of England, Scotland and Ireland during the Glorious Revolution, when he deposed the previous king who was unpopular and Catholic. So William Hyacinth rather expected to be put in charge of basically the Netherlands when William III died. William III died in 1702 and in his will left his Dutch possessions to, John William Frieso of Nassau-Dietz. That did not sit well with William Hyacinth, who contested the will and lost. So he went to France to try to get the French king's support for his claims. That was never going to work. The French king was Catholic and simply wasn't interested in helping out any Protestant, especially one that didn't have an army to speak of. I mean, it's not as if he was going to invade anywhere. Well, he did. Now, this gets a little bit complicated, but there was a region just north of the city of Avignon which was known as the Principality of Orange. It was only about 20 kilometers long and 15 kilometers wide, but if you were prince of it, you might think you had a reasonably good chance of being recognized as the ruler of the Dutch Republic. So William Hyacinth went there and said, "I am the Prince of Orange." And then the French king said, "No, you're not. Henri Jules de Condé is, and by the way, let me introduce you to my army." And that was basically it, or should have been. But for William Hyacinth, things were not going to get any better. He wasn't a very nice man. He was really bad-tempered and once even pointed cannons at his own brother's castle just to show him who was boss. More than that, he'd spent a lot of money on a really lavish lifestyle because apparently he believed that's how you convinced people you owned the Netherlands. And so he'd run up massive debts. Really massive debts. And how does a deluded monarch with massive debts raise money? Why, he increases taxes and starts imposing random fines on his subjects. Well, people complained. Prussia sent in the troops, the peasants plundered the castle, the Chancellor was arrested, there were revolts. The end came on the 29th of March 1707, when he executed without trial a man he accused of being leader of the insurgents. At that point, the Holy Roman Emperor stripped him of his title and a few years later gave Nassau-Siegen to William's brother. William Hyacinth was given a modest pension, but his assets were all used to pay off his debts. He complained about this, but nobody had any sympathy for him. He died in 1743 at the age of 73. He came to power in 1699 when he died and... And how does a deluded monarch with massive debts raise money? That was it. He died in some year in the 18th century.